I ended up getting completely bored from not having anything to do. In fact, I got so bored that I was basically just wandering the house because there was literally nothing to do. Yeah, the boredom really hit in out of nowhere. So I then decided to scatter through Xbox Game Pass, looking for pretty much anything to pique my interests, similar to that of The Ascent from earlier in August. And after waiting for a few days for a title that I found interesting, on August 18th, I finished and started playing Recompile. Its cover looked like The Matrix, and the gameplay from some trailers looked, decent. So, after suffering through an entire day's worth of schoolwork on a Wednesday afternoon, I ended up playing Recompile, and both had a complete and massive headache, as well as felt like I had literally done several pounds of drugs. Immediately upon booting the game, I encountered a title screen that was the equivalent of a computer that would sit in the Pentagon in the 1950s, which should give you an idea of what this game is going to look like. Like the 1950s. And after starting a new game, we immediately get into the lore segment of this video. Alright, bear with me here. This is going to be a bit vague, so I'm going to try my best. Yeah, so apparently we're actually a virus that's apparently inside this cross-blending universe that is actually Portal 2, and it's somehow a supercomputer. And we're also programmed in by this guy named Janus, who for some reason was taking some coding classes, and he actually needed some kind of experiment for his code, so he ended up killing his friend. That actually didn't happen, but it sounds funnier that way. And now we're inside this said supercomputer type world type thing with the task of killing some super all-powerful AI called the Hypervisor, which is actually just Doug DeMuro saying this over and over because clearly it's a hypervisor. I'd also imagine that we're here to kill the coronavirus, but let's be real here, the real aim is to make Valve count to 3, or Portal 3, dang it, as well as dealing several pounds of drugs because Jesus Christ, Janus hooked us up, bro. I mean, look at these graphics. Hopefully you got all that. Then we get into some gameplay, in which I actually can't jump immediately. Game won't let me explore this. This is rigged. I just want to jump, man, like, geez. There's also this laser guy, and I can't get past him because he clearly wanted some of the stuff that I've been smoking, and I just can't give it to a robot, alright? That'd be kind of weird. I eventually did get to another section of the, quote, level, but to be honest, I'm not entirely sure what this is. It's either a level, it's either a section, or, in this case, it's probably Portal 2, and in the fact that it's not even a level at all. It's just, the entire game. I will say, this game does encourage exploration, although it does feel a little bit linear as to how its progression goes. You can explore, sure, but at the end of the day, there's really only one path to go down. It could be better, is what I'm saying. Then I got this power-up that was called Disrupt, which is literally a gun. From The Matrix. Congratulations, Internet, I got a gun. You better start hiding your pictures of both Belle Delphine as well as your VTubers, alright? Otherwise, I'm coming to bang down your door like the FBI. I also discovered that you can kill the little robots with this gun, and I like how they actually make beeping sounds when you're hitting them to indicate that your shots are actually hitting. It's clever, so that way you know if you're actually hitting something instead of just, getting aimbotted somehow. Then I got to this guy, conveniently named the Hypervision AI, which technically just basically sounds like this world's variant of GLaDOS from Portal. Just wait, it's gonna become a potato probably. Apparently, if I walk super slow up to it, since it clearly just said to try not to wake him up, apparently walking up to him slowly just doesn't do jack crap, and now it's hacking to my PC to steal all my data. Good job, devs, you're now secretly ISIS. I then warp into whatever this thing is, and witness my birth. But it's in code instead. Cool hub area, I guess. It's interesting, but, it's a hub world, so its space just straight up doesn't matter, because, open world. After not figuring out how to get through this section of the game to get to, I guess, we're gonna call it a World 3, I guess, I went back down to a different section, because surprisingly, even though this is an open world platformer, it also isn't an open world platformer. Good job, devs. Then I gained the Recompile ability, name drop, allowing me to inspect stuff. Yes, apparently you can also check the map with this ability, meaning that you don't actually get the map right at the start of the game, which is honestly kind of bad game design because, I feel like you would kind of want a map from the start, but hey, it's game design, alright? This next segment was actually pretty cool, in my opinion. It had a lot of sweet platforming segments to get to these buttons that you had to activate, and I guess the buttons activate what I'm going to call power lines, but I'm not really sure if they're power lines, but you get the point. I will give the game one thing so far from at least the playtime here, and that is it's doing a pretty good job at being a 3D platformer while also making it have that open world aspect, meaning that, yeah, you're gonna platform stuff, but it's also open world. There's multiple areas to go to in this one area, and you can do a lot of things in this area. And I really enjoy that this game is giving me that feeling. So it's selling it so far on that. I then ended up solving this puzzle, and I learned the air jump, or in this case, a double jump, which also means that I'm now Sonic the Hedgehog, and I'm incredibly surprised that Kappa somehow didn't catch them right in the act. Just saying. And after getting to the next big area, well, to be honest, I had to take a minute and look, because honestly, it looks pretty dope. I mean, there's a lot of G fuel in the sky, in case you couldn't tell. Also, I did some parkour. Check this out. I will say these large puzzles that are related to getting all these power lines active and everything like that definitely gave me some trouble. But at the end of the day, it actually was pretty cool to see puzzles like this, and it's a great way to use this puzzle ability to its full effect. I also learned that you have to do several of these big puzzles in order to progress, and once I had done that, I managed to power up the cans of what I'm going to assume is G Fuel or Mountain Dew or something, and set my eyes towards the top of the map, because, you know, why not? The map up here is surprisingly glitchy, so I'm not sure if that's a bug or if that's intentional. I kind of am hoping that it's not intentional, because if it is, then I just feel like that's bad game design, or if it's trying to show that glitchy, hacky kind of effect. But even then, it's still kind of off-putting. Then I end up coming across this empty portal. Clearly, I wasn't going to get out of this literal screwery that I was in, but at least it does make for a great thumbnail shot. Nice. For now, that is where I'm going to leave it. Genuinely, I actually really like what Recompile brings to the table. In general, it's a 3D platformer that both prioritizes its platforming sections, but also makes it open world, and makes sure that all of your areas you're going to have platforming sections. But at the end of the day, it's an open world. You can choose where you want to go, how you want to do it. And more importantly, there's loads of unique puzzles and enemies. So therefore, it makes it to where you have to figure out where you're going, how to solve these puzzles in certain orders, and planning your movements. Because again, once you combine all of those things, it really makes for a great experience. However, there are just two major faults that I have here. The first is the kind of mysterious glitchy segments at the top of the map that I mentioned momentarily ago. I feel like they shouldn't be present, but again, that might just be because of the overall kind of hacky glitchiness kind of atmosphere that Recompile is trying to go for. But if it's not intentional, then I hope it gets fixed, but if it is intentional, then that just seems a bit offsetting. Aside from that, the overall just kind of hacky, glitchy kind of feel of this game definitely can give people headaches, especially for myself. With the hour and a half of playtime that I did for this video, I ended up having quite a big headache afterwards. But again, that might just be because I'm not used to playing games like Recompile, but that could be up to you. So if you're somebody who likes platforming intensive games with a taste of open world, and you're somebody who likes these kinds of games, then Recompile is definitely a great option to look for. However, if you're just somebody looking for something new and something fresh in a platformer, or just want to try something different, Recompile is also a very good option too. Trust me, I'm still playing the game even after making this video, because I actually genuinely enjoy it, and I want to see where the game goes. And with that, I'm actually just gonna go play some more of it. So, thank you so much for watching. My name is PandaPowerSauce. Remember to stay saucy, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.